welcome to Plopsaland. This is a park that's been getting a lot of attention lately because they built this guy here, Ride to Happiness. So I thought I'd come along, give it a shot, see what it's like. I have a couple of questions about this place. First of all, who is it aimed at? Because if you look at the ride lineup, kind of very much a family park. But then they put Ride to Happiness, Heidi the Ride, Anubis. Those are not family rides. Ride to Happiness, is it actually worth the hype? I mean, everyone says it's amazing. So I want to see if it actually is. And then thirdly, should you come visit this place? Everyone says it's really easy to get to. It hasn't been for me. I'll get onto that later. So yeah, let's get inside and see what this park's all about. I'm here for 2 days. Let's try it all out, get some creds, and see whether it's worth visiting. Am I going on a roller coaster or am I going to a disco? This is weird. Off there with a likeme coaster. Likeme coaster. That's. I mean, it's a kids coaster. It's odd. You saw the queue there. It kind of looks like a high school disco. I went on that first because I'm an idiot. And when you come into the park, you can go two ways. I went the way towards the kids' land. What I really wanted to do first was that bad boy. So now I'm going to try and find my way over there and give that one a shot. Change of plan. I just did that instead because it's right next to where I was. Another very kiddie coaster. As I said at the start of this video, this definitely has its roots in a family-friendly kids park. I am curious about rides like that one. Yeah, it's alright. Quite forceful for a kids ride actually in a couple of places. I'm just wondering about it. It's kind of quiet and busy at the same time. That ride was busy, but the park is quite quiet. I don't know if it's just because I picked a good weekend to come, or if it is just because it's early in the morning and it hasn't quite picked up yet. I've also got one of these little guys, which I'm pretty sure we've got in Legoland, if I remember correctly. Yeah, keep wondering. I have seen Ride to Happiness testing. I haven't seen anybody on it yet, so I don't think if I'd gone that way it would have made much sense. Okay, well, there's a little powered coaster here, so I'm going to go and do that. This is a little bit of a disappointment. I had seen this log flume with people on it. Looks really, really good. But as you can see, there is no water in the drop. The boats are kind of stacked up there. That's not running today. That, however, is a little Mac powered coaster, I think. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll go and give that a shot. And then there's Heidi the Ride, which they missed the trick not calling it Heidi the Ride. But anyway. That was alright for a little kids ride. It might give me an indication as to how busy the park's going to be today. It's not really busy, but I have seen that ride go around 2, sometimes even 3 times when it's really quiet. And they're only doing 1 lap because, well, as soon as they've dispatched, their gates are full for the next ride. So, interesting to see. It's definitely not the busiest, but it's also not super quiet. I guess when we get to the bigger rides, we'll see what the queues look like. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed about that log flume. That looked really good. But they got Pizza Hut here. It's unusual in a park. Although I think we used to have them in the UK many years ago. Anyway, heading to Heidi the Ride. Just keep calling it that because it sounds funny. Let's see what that's like. That was a little more like it, that's more my thing. That's quite a nice first drop actually, it's really nice and steep. I wouldn't say it's as good as Wickerman or Joris and the Draak at Efteling. Next one I've been on so far, I'm leading up to the big ones. I've still got Anubis and there's Ride to Happiness now. Still not got anybody on it. That's a little worrying. Okay, well at least it's testing. I guess I'll head over there now and see when it opens, and yeah, always good to get another credit.
The wisdom of nature has brought you here, and you may rest assured it will not desert you on your ride to happiness. After this point, your lives will never be the same. Cherish the crucial moment of change and carry it in your heart. Let's unite and feel the power of nature.
I don't know what to say. That's not like any ride I have ever been on. That is taking inversions and all sorts in positions that you just do not take them on any other ride. I'm a little lost for words, which is, anyone that knows me, is kind of rare. I need to go on that many more times to see where it sits. I would say, I don't know if I complimented the ride operations previously. Certainly on Heidi the Ride they were throwing trains out. On that one, it's on a single train and the queue was huge, which kind of slowed it down. I really couldn't get their second train on the list as a technical reason they can't. Yeah, that first slow, what did they call it? I can't remember the name for it. The first inversion when you leave the station. That's weird. The launch is weird. All the inversions are weird. I'm curious to see how this warms up later on in the day, because I suspect it's only going to get better, and hopefully a little quieter, because that queue was quite painful. Just did that. Anubis. That was pretty good. I had heard about the launch. Woofed. You basically just turn that corner and without taking a breath, you're off. And it's pretty much non-stop all the way around. And that was really good. The queue line is pitch black. Like, you cannot see a thing, which is a little weird. But no, that was good. I think I'm going to go out for lunch. I'm kind of annoyed because obviously this is February. Ooh, is that a boat going? Hold on. I was going to say all the water rides are shut. Presumably winter maintenance, but I think I might actually see one of them run. That's potentially exciting, because otherwise I would have skipped some. But that's the 3 main rides done. Heidi, Happiness and Anubis. They're all really good, really enjoyed them. Now I have to go and get ripped off and buy some lunch. So I had heard it was quite expensive here, and it is. This is 17 euros, I think. Double cheeseburger, chips and fries. To be fair, I asked for large, and that's a ridiculous amount of chips. I'm here on my own, 16 euros. It's steep, but it's manageable. If you were here as a family with all your kids, 2 or 3 kids, 2 adults, yeah, that adds up. I can see why people complain, and you're in the middle of nowhere, so you don't really have a lot of choice unless you bring something with you. Anyway. That was fun. Just did the SuperSplash. And I am mildly moist now. That was refreshing. It's quite interesting the way that the lift mechanism works in there. I mean, you look at the tower, you can't realise is that there's a lift effectively straight up, but the platform rotates. So you do a 180, you face into it when you load, and it kind of rotates on the way up, so that you then come out and get drenched. To be fair, it's a one-trick pony. Once you've done that initial splash, it's a really painfully slow meander around the track. You know, it's pretty sure that counts as a credit, right? Dino Splash, the log flume. That was really good actually. Walk on, long ride, fast pace, it was 4 minutes long, multiple drops. Amazing payment for a log flume. I'm curious though why the trough was empty this morning. When I come back tomorrow, I wonder if they empty it every single day. That seems crazy. Anyway, I think I've done pretty much everything I wanted to now, so I'm just going to re-ride a few things and yeah, take it from there. Second shot on Ride to Happiness, this time on the back row rather than the front row, and I don't know if it's because it's the back row or just because it's later in the day that's warmed up. That was significantly better than the first time. You get absolutely dragged around on the back row, which is fantastic. I also think I figured out why it's only on one train, because I found this looks like the second train is packed up, either to go to Mac for maintenance or it's just come back from maintenance and it's not been put back on the track yet. Which probably explains the operation's been a little bit slower. They've only got one train and they can't really avoid it. I guess that also means there's a risk that if that one train goes down, the whole ride's offline. Anyway, I've managed to rerun most things. I'm now going to go and do Heidi the Ride again, and then probably going to be getting close to the park closing at that point. Another ride on Heidi the Ride. Back row this time. That's a really good GCI. As I said before, I don't think it compares to like Wickerman or Yoris and the Draak at Efteling. It was really good. That was literally walk on. Crazy. I mean, they, as I said before, they have insane operations on that ride. They're throwing trains around, which is fantastic. Also went on Likeme coaster again. That's a very strange. I'm going to say little ride, but I think it's strange because it's a big ride. It is a huge train, probably the longest train I've ever seen, which means when you go over the hill, I was in the front and you're kind of being held back, waiting on the back of the train to catch up and get over, and then it sort of pushes you. I'd be interested to see what that ride was like if the train was like half its length, but it's not. So anyway, not sure what I'm going to go and do now, but I'll keep wandering and take you along with me. Yesterday I mentioned that this ride here has the trough empty with no water in it, and I was disappointed and thought I wasn't going to get on it. And then later in the day the ride was operating, and I did wonder, does that mean that every night they drain the ride? Well, this is day 2 and it's drained again, so it looks like they do drain it every day, which kind of seems overkill. I've never known a park to drain their water ride on a daily basis, but if you do come here in the morning and you see this ride with no water in it, don't panic. Hopefully it'll just open a little bit later in the day. It's very strange. Just started day 2 with back row ride on Heide the Ride. I was running really fast for this time in the morning actually. It's hopefully going to get even faster later on in the day, so I'm going to get back on that and try. One thing I didn't mention yesterday was photos on the rides. Usually I will get photos when I'm on the rides. I haven't done here. They've got a slightly different system. There's a little screen that I'll put some video in at the end of most of the rides that you go up to. So once you see that in other places, right, where you see, but it's usually a separate screen for each photo with numbers on them. This is just one little screen with tiny little thumbnails, and then you pay for each photo individually. So there's no pass, there's no like all day pass, there's nothing in the app. It's just, I believe, I asked them, I think most of them are digital, but there are a couple of rides, I can't remember which one, that will only do printed photograph. So yeah, if you are somebody that does photos, then a little different here, but they do have them on quite a lot of the rides actually, so at least there's that. I just had a go on Anubis there. That launch is good. I really do enjoy that. It kind of catches you the first time you do it, because you literally roll around the corner and immediately you're off. I mentioned at the start that this park wasn't particularly easy for me to get to. I've seen so many people saying, oh, this park is a piece of cake. If you live in the UK, you can be here and back same day. If you live south of England and you can use the Channel Tunnel, then absolutely, this is probably a very easy park to get to. Those of us a little bit further up north, in my case, Edinburgh and Scotland, this place is a real pain to get to. I ended up flying from Edinburgh to Brussels, Charleroi. I then got a bus into Charleroi. I then got a train from there to Brussels, where I'm spending the weekend. And then each day I've had to get a 2.5 hour train from Brussels to De Panne, and a 2.5 hour train back. yeah, kind of gone all out. So let me know in the comments below if you've been here. How did you get here? Was your journey a little easier than mine? And if you do live where I live, or near where I live, have I missed something obvious? I did look at staying on site. They only had a family room for €600. That's not worth it when I'm on my own. I looked at staying in Bruges, same sort of deal. But I am hoping that there's a simpler solution, because if I did want to come with my kids, I really don't fancy that route.
One thing I did want to talk about was the Plopsaland app. If you saw my videos from Efteling, you'll know I did a separate video all about the Efteling app because I was so impressed with how well it was put together. Unfortunately, it's the exact opposite here. This app isn't particularly great. You'll see there's visual glitches all over the place, kind of weird stuff going on. This map isn't very usable. It's kind of like a representation, I guess, but it's not a real map, therefore it doesn't show you where you are, which means getting directions isn't straightforward. Yesterday, everything was shown as 0 minutes, which was completely useless. Today it is showing as sometimes, but it says here that Dino Splash is closed, and I've just been sitting having my lunch watching it go around, so it's really not accurate. The other frustration, and hear me out before you have a go in the comments, is this is only in French and Dutch. Well, that kind of makes sense, right? We're in Belgium, that's the languages they speak. They also speak German, and the website supports German and English. If this park is trying to break out into a wider audience with rides like Ride to Happiness, then it kind of feels obvious that they should have English, dare I say it. And I wouldn't, as I said, I wouldn't mind if it wasn't on the website. It's just there's that lack of consistency. Why would you have different languages on the website and the app? I don't speak French, I don't speak Dutch. I can guess where a lot of things are. But yeah, just really disappointing. As I say, not functional, kind of buggy. And the map, to be honest, I've spent more time using Google Maps to find my way around than this, because this is kind of useless. So yeah, that's a bit of a letdown.
Well, have a little bit of lunch there, and then if I'm in Blackpool, I go on the Pleasure Beach Express for a nice relaxing jaunt. I stole that from Mike and Scott from Euro Tourist Guide. They've got a Plopsa Express here, so I did exactly the same thing. Now I'm on this. It got a little bit wet the last night. Anyway, I still find it really weird. That they drain this every night. That seems bonkers to me, but it is what it is. Anyway, this thing is cracking steaming, and I'm about to get wet. If, like me, you do have a lot of travelling to do, and you're looking for something to occupy you whilst you're on the plane, the train, the car, the boat, whatever, check links in the description below. I've got a couple of books, some colouring books, some puzzle books, theme park related and otherwise, so give them a look. They should keep you occupied, and every little bit helps the channel.
Live today. Love tomorrow. Unite.
Well, that's my time on the park finished. Since I last saw you, another shot on Ride to Happiness. That ride definitely gets better later on in the day. Then the dragon, can't remember his name, something Draak. I think I said yesterday it was maybe indicative of how busy it was that the guy only gave one lap. I've been on it a couple of times and it's always been the same ride operator until then, where it was a different guy and he gave everybody 2 shots. So it may just be the luck of who you get operating the ride. And then I finished on the little kids boat ride, the name of which I can't remember. That is the slowest boat ride I have ever been on. I think it was 8 minutes long, and at one point I thought we'd stopped because the water was so painfully slow. Anyway, I started this video with 3 questions. The first one, who's this park aimed at? It's undoubtedly a kids park, family park, right? There's, I mean, everywhere you look there's small children. But then they've got the Ride to Happiness, they've got Anubis, they've got Heidi the Ride. I think that one maybe less so. Don't get me wrong, I did see some younger children on all those rides. But they just don't feel like they belong in a park like this. It's just really weird. The second thing is Ride to Happiness worth the hype? And honestly, I think it is. I've had numerous rides in different rows. Not that that really matters when it's a spinning ride. And they were all completely different, but they were all unique. I've never taken inversions like that. So I think that ride is definitely up there. I don't know if I'd put it as my top ride. And you've got the likes of Velocicoaster, Guardians of the Galaxy, Taron at Phantasialand. It's up there, but I don't know if it's top. And then the last question I asked was, should you visit this park? And I think that really depends on how easy it is for you to get here. If you're one of the people who can comfortably get here in a day and back again, or if you're visiting Belgium and you just want to do something for the day, or you're travelling through Europe visiting all the parks, absolutely, come visit this park, you know, jump on all the rides, get the extra credits. But if, like me, you had to go out of your way to get here and make a big event off it, I don't think it is. I honestly don't. I think I've stretched this for 2 days. I've pretty much done everything in day one. I've re-ridden things. I got to this stage at the end there that I was kind of bored. I was just like, right, do I go and do these rides again? It's definitely not a multi-day park. Maybe it's just because it's quiet. So, in conclusion, if you can get here easily, absolutely. If you can't, I honestly give it a miss. I suspect Mac will have more extreme coasters, spinning coasters in the future, so you might get one somewhere else that's maybe more worth visiting. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. As I said before, let me know in the comments where you've travelled from. If you like this park, if you thought it was a waste of time, or actually you really enjoyed it and you've been multiple times. Our links are in the description if you're interested in any of the books I mentioned previously. And I will be back in a couple of weeks. I'll be down at Blackpool and Alton Towers for the weekend. Keen to see if Valhalla opens. The park is suspiciously quiet, which worries me. Although drone footage seems to show that the fences are down, so that's positive. And then Alton Towers, the Curse of Alton Manor. I'm really keen to see what that's like. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.